So this year at CES, one of the booths I stopped by was Masterbuilt come out of Joe, and this is the new Autoignite Series 545 digital charcoal-based grill. It really intrigued me. Now, I've been using my Smart pellet grill for quite a few years now and love just getting off of gas altogether, doing something that just makes, gives better flavor to the meat. Charcoal has always been my favorite, but I never enjoyed cooking with charcoal just because of the maintenance and getting it started and waiting and trying to find the right temperature. I am hoping that this actually fixes that. That said, this is gonna be separated into a couple different videos. This first one's gonna be unboxing and getting this thing set up. And then we'll actually do a video on probably the first cook I ever do with it. And then eventually I'll probably do a review video too. So, without further ado, let's unbox, let's get going. Okay, so let's get into this guy. Now, first of all, this thing is not light. In the box, well, I don't know the exact weight, but it is not light. If you're a single person doing this, take your time, and we're gonna see how easy this is to get out of the box, obviously by myself. I'm not anticipating too many issues. But it is not a light grill. It is solid. All right, first things first, we do have the manual, which I will go over in a little bit. Throw that down there. See here, we have a box on the top. Set that down here. We'll go over that in a minute. Then we actually have the grill pieces here. So let's see. Now you can tell that it took a little bit of a maybe beating from UPS when they dropped it off. And that's the thing about shipping anything though, right? All right, so it looks like there's a door, access panel. Get that. Oh, I could have lifted it off, jeez. So there's lots of stuff in here too. So, looks like some kind of fiberglass filter, or a gasket maybe. Here's all the screws we have. There's just gonna be a lot of unboxing. I'm not going to go through every single one. I'm just going to do this in fast motion, I think. Okay, that's that box. That's a lot. I did have one piece here that has a broken piece here and a broken piece here from shipping. So there is that. We'll see how much of a difference that makes, or if I have to contact to get a replacement piece. We'll know that when we get closer. The sheer number of parts is mind-melting. I only had one part that was damaged though, and that's that plastic part. So I don't know yet about that. We'll find out when I get closer to installing that to see if how much that's going to change things, or if I can just go ahead and keep going with it and then still seek out a replacement. There's more underneath this grill, but before I start lifting this out of here, I want to see about what's the first step in installation. Good news, it's literally just the handle. So yes, I can definitely seek a replacement, and it's not going to affect the use of the grill so much as it is getting it one that's not broken. So I wanted to point out we have these part numbers that we're going to go by, but also fasteners. So you can see right down here we're letter A for the fastener, and then on the actual fastener bunch you can see A, D, C, B, so all the letters, and then you can just peel open the back and it tells you how many there are. So right now there's 25 of these and 26 of A's, so there's a lot of A screws. So that's where we're going to start. Now I was also wondering how much of this I was going to actually film. I'm going to film as much as I can, but at the same time I'm not going to film everything. So this is the broken one. There is an arrow on these guys pointing up, so that's going to go on this side. So this is the right side one that I am going, and it even has a letter R in here. Sorry, I don't know how well you're seeing that letter R in there. So there is that, but I'm going to get first side on and then worry about it, but I'm not seeing that this is going to make a big effect right now. Okay, handle's on, now I got to flip it over. Wonder if I should. Yep, I'm going to remove that. Okay, so on here we're going to have this gasket that goes down. Just got to make sure that it lines up with the holes, just like so. And then we'll have this chute guy that attaches, like so. And I'm going to grab 6 of the A screws. Let me grab my gun. And the screws down inside are going to be a little bit more difficult. Next is these legs. You can see the 2 that don't have the rubber feet are going on first over here. On the side that we just added that piece. And the rubber foot looks like just the 1 for now, because then you got to get this shelf in before we can probably do the last 4th leg. Pretty easy to tell which one goes one. There's a screw on the top and there's a screw on the side. So 1 on the side, 1 on the top there. So it goes like that. Just got to get the screws out. Okay, let's pick the right one. I picked up the wrong one. 3 legs are on, so now we are going to do this shelf. So I have the shelf. I will say that this was on the very bottom of the package and it got dented in shipping, so it is dented. But there is this little G nub that's in the hardware case that you're supposed to put on there. And then this is going to go on up here, and we'll slowly get it in place. We just got to get some screws to do it. So we're not quite ready for the other leg yet. We just got to get this other piece in. So it looks like these panels are what we're doing now. And they go like so. And I can't say they're going to be a lot of fun to put in. I don't know why I put that G in there. Maybe this goes on the other side. Okay, so now it's wheel time. I need this washer and this nut. May have to get a wrench for this, but that's all right. So we got this guy here. It's just 1 washer. It looks like just 1 washer, 1 nut. So we go through one of the wheels and through this guy here, out the other side, wherever it is. There we go. Then we got the other wheel here. Make sure you obviously aim it the right direction. Then washer and nut. And eventually I'll have to get a wrench set here. Maybe I'll do that real quick. So the nut is 3/4, and the axle, there's a spot on the axle for a wrench, is 3/8, and then we can. Now, we don't want to go too crazy. We don't want to crank it tight, but we want to just take out the slop. Not tight, but not super loose. Okay, we're done on the bottom, so we're going to flip it back over. And I can't go on this side, so I'm going to go off the back. We are flipped over. So when I did this upside down, I put this panel in the wrong spot. It goes right here. There actually are 2 screws, 1 here, and then 1 up and 1 down. So 4 screws total. And then I think that little guy goes there. So that little G that I put on the side, I did take out when I was doing the other ones. That's where that goes. And so that little pin goes in the bottom of the door here. And then the top of the door has a little spring action pin. Oh, and there we go. So it's a little spring pin. So we'll just get that on the hinge there. Get it on the right hole there. There we go. It's really close. Oh, and my thing fell out. Look at that. Ah, there it goes. Yep, okay, so it's really tight. That hinge is really tight. May have to look into that. And this probably just pops on. Yep, just pops on like that. Okay. Okay, so that was step 9. Now we're on step 10. And that's the side mechanism. I'm going to get this tape and stuff out of here. Okay. So this is going to attach on the side. What we're going to need, we need that piece. Plus I think we need, there's a couple pieces, and then the D's and the H screws. Okay, so let's kind of match up the holes. It looks like it's going to be like that over here because it looks like there's a grommet right there. Okay. And this is going to be, I think, the hardest one yet. We're going to have to feed that wire through that rubber grommet on the shelf. All right. This is going to be hard for me to do on camera. I apologize for me if I get in the way. Okay, well that wasn't too bad. Okay, so once you have the shelf on, then I made the connections. So there are these two connections right here, just black and this clear one. They can only go on when my AC plug it in. And then this thermostat that's coming throughout here plugs in kind of up in there. That one's the harder one to see where it was going, but that's where she goes. And then there's the Wi-Fi antenna, whatever, Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, whatever, it just goes on that little stub out there, screws on, good to go. Now this side should be a little easier. This guy here, little heat symbol, it's gonna go mount right here. Same screws, those G's and H washers, they're gonna go on this side as well. And actually I think there's a gasket there too. So the gasket goes only one direction. Make sure you have it on the right way. Not as good as space this time. Okay, so these are the B screws on this guy. Guessing that's right. Yep, just like so. So technically you put the lower screw on first because it's not actually attached to the drawer, and the other one goes in the slot, and then you can do that. For you boys and girls that are paying attention, we're on step 13, which is this silver guy. There's one bolt, one screw that goes through. There's one threading down there. It looks like something else goes back. Oh yeah, goes on the other side. There's actually a thread on that. So essentially we get to put this back in how it came. Ah, there we go. Then this little grate guy goes down to the bottom of the firebox. Like so. Then our heat distributor, I guess, is capped on one side, it's open on the other, open end towards the firebox, and then it sits down in our little cage here. Awesome. And then these little guys are going to screw onto the top of that on those 4 screw holes. So I got, let's see how many screws we got left. 4 screws, 4 A screws, last 4. Now, I would assume that replacing this guy on top of that. Oh, and even has little cleats for it. Yeah, 4 cleats. So it's like so. So this grate, that's kind of interesting, goes back here, but I kind of got to get it all the way down on that. Okay, there's that side. All right, there we go. All right. And then you have this, you open it up, and then you have this little grilling space there. Interesting. But then you actually have the grilling surfaces itself. There we go. We got that in place now. And now I think it's just the drip tray and stuff down below. And it looks like I have this motor and stuff to plug in yet, but we'll come back to that here. Well, maybe it's best to get it done now so I can see what I'm plugging into. Now we'll put this back in, all the way in, all right? And then we have the ash box that goes underneath here. That's that. We are running out of parts. Actually, this guy goes in here. There we go. Okay, so last step was I wanted to get these magnets on because I didn't get them on when I first did put up the grill. So it looks to me as though this piece actually mounts on the grill, kind of like that, and then this mounts to this. So it's a 2-piece process essentially. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get these mounted, the actual magnets mounted to the supports, and then the supports, then I'll mount them to the thing. It would have been a lot easier if I did this when I actually built it from the bottom up, but that said, I'll learn my lesson. So I think this will make more sense here in a minute, but you can see that this is gonna basically mount like this, and I have the magnet sticking out, so that's how you're gonna wanna mount it. So yeah, let me get down there and put one on and we'll see what it looks like. Yeah, definitely would have been easier to do when I did the first install part, but that's all right. And the reason I didn't see it earlier was the fact that the holes are they're at the very top of this leg and at the very bottom. And I was looking in the middle for some weird reason, I don't know why. Once it's on, and then the door will actually magnetically close then. There we go, that's one magnet in. 2 more screws and 1 more magnet to go. And now she shuts. So this is what that looks like from this point. The only thing left is the temperature probe, which I use it when you use it. Power cord, which would be for plugging back in, and then this is the tool to remove a grate. So that's just a tool. We're fully installed. The piece that broke in shipping, I'm gonna reach out to the company. I'm sure that they'll be willing to get that repaired. It's not gonna hamper anything. There is one, I mean, obviously that shelf down below is a little bit dented, and there's a little bit of a mess up here right on this arm, but that I'm gonna get down with a pair of pliers or a wrench or something just to bring it down, probably a crescent wrench, just slowly bring it down. Again, doesn't alter the use. That is the full install, that's the full building. At the same time, I'm also gonna put a video out of the first time using it. So if you wanna check that out, check out that video. I will have a full review video out as well after I'm done using it and testing it and such like that. So that was a build process, I'll give it that. Nothing hard. 2 people for some of the steps would make it a little bit easier. But you know, it's not super easy, so you have to at least know how to use a screwdriver. I would highly recommend having a small screwdriver, a low power, and then set the torque setting so you're not going to strip anything or ruin anything. But it makes it a lot easier on your hands than just using a manual screwdriver, but of course you could do that too. So Masterbuilt Autoignite Series 545, built, ready to go. Thanks for watching to the end of this video. We'll catch you back here on GeekSmart for a future product install. We'll see you soon.